Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello, good afternoon.
And good morning and good evening.
Yes.
And good in between.
Good in between everything. Hi.
Good in between dimensions, maybe.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
So we're looking at the Large Hadron Collider at Cern, which, causes chills for many people.
It's an interesting subject thing to explore.
It sure is. And then we see researchers at the Large Hadron Collider are confident to make contact with parallel universes in just days.
Only days, you guys, just days.
We have days to go. Days to go till contact with a parallel universe. So you guys, we were talking about this before, a pretty scary movie out there, The Mist.
Oh my gosh, that is really scary, you guys.
It's kind of the premise of The Mist. Yeah, it's like they were doing experiments on a military base and somehow dimensions merged and it wasn't a good thing.
No, it didn't work very well.
It didn't work well for many of the characters in the movie, that was for sure. So we see here the astoundingly complex Large Hadron Collider, the Atom Smasher at Cern Center in Geneva, Switzerland. Well, it's all fired up to its maximum energy levels. Maximum energy. Ever in an endeavor to identify or perhaps to even generate tiny black holes.
So I wonder what that's going to do.
Oh, I could hear it right now. They're unleashing the demons from hell.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, just tune into a certain frequency and maybe you'll get something good. Maybe you won't.
Right, exactly.
Maybe you'll get a big surprise.
Surprises can be good.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
If successful, a very new universe is going to be exposed. I hope everybody is covered up in that universe.
Oh, we're going to have so many new books to read.
This is wild stuff. Modifying completely not only the physics books, but the philosophy books too. It's even probable that gravity from our own universe may transfer into this parallel universe, researchers at the LHC said. Is anybody getting a little bit, apprehensive?
You know what's really strange is my heart chakra is kind of it's kind of happy.
Really?
Yeah, strange.
Well, the experiment is assured to accentuate alarmist critics of the LHC, many of whom initially warned that the high-energy particle collider would start the top of our universe with the making a part of its own. But up to now, Geneva stays intact and securely outside the event horizon. No doubt the LHC has been outstandingly successful. First researchers proved the existence of the mysterious Higgs boson, the God particle, the key building block of the cosmos, and it's seemingly well on the thanks to revealing dark matter. Now, there are those who do not believe in dark matter at all as well. That's a previously untraceable theoretical prospect that's now believed to form up to the foremost of matter within the universe. But next week's experimentation is reflected to be a game changer. Mir Faisal, one in every of the three strong groups of physicists behind the experiment, said just as many parallel sheets of paper, which are two-dimensional objects, breadth and length, can exist during a dimension height, parallel universes can even exist in higher dimensions. We predict that gravity can leak into extra dimensions, and if it does, then miniature black holes are produced at the LHC. Normally, when people consider the multiverse, they think about the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics, where every possibility is actualized. This cannot be tested, so it's a philosophy and not a science. This is often not what we mean by parallel universes. What we mean is real universes in extra dimensions. As gravity can infuse our own universe into the additional dimensions, such a model may be tested by the detection of mini black holes at the LHC. We have calculated the energy which we expect to detect these mini black holes in gravity's rainbow, a new scientific theory. If we do detect many black holes at this energy, then we're going to know that both gravity's rainbow and additional dimensions are correct, are true. When the LHC is fired up, the energy is calculated in tera electron volts. A TeV is 1 trillion electron volts. Up until now, the LHC has sought for many black holes at energy levels below 5.3 TeV, but the most recent study says this is often too low. Instead, the model forecasts that black holes might form at energy levels of no but 9.5 TeV in 6 dimensions and 11.9 TeV in 10 dimensions. So, this is interesting stuff. It is interesting stuff. Many black holes. What are they going to do? Many people are very worried that they're actually going to open up a wormhole and allow in, all sorts of diabolical evil things.
Well, I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but I have seen beings that are like two-dimensional, like paper beings.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting thought. And there is the thought that this is a holographic universe that's a projection of a 2D reality.
Yeah, so I don't know, you guys. I don't know what's going to happen, but, not that I want anything bad to happen, but I'm a little excited.
So this is Shiva, and this is Shiva as Lord of the Dance, and this is at the LHC in Geneva over there at Cern. And so many people, got afraid of that because Shiva is known in one of his, many labels as the destroyer.
Yes.
In a way. But it's the destroyer of the illusion of what we perceive to be reality. Because ultimately, we are non-physical beings having a physical, journey, experience.
Yes, we are. That's true. So, if things are not as what they seem, wouldn't you want them to be, I don't know, I don't want to use the word destroyed, but you would want to be able to see through the illusion.
So you have some of a fundamentalist persuasion that don't understand the complexities of other, philosophies and religions that automatically just view Shiva as a demon. But Shiva is made up of, 2 different words there, Shiva, which means that which is not. But he's also known by other labels too, like Mahadeva, which is a great one. And also, he's introduced to us in the Vedas in his form as Rudra, which is like the roaring one. But Shiva, that which is not, we could equate to the Western mystery tradition. We could equate it into the Kabbalah. We could look into Gnosticism and see a lot of parallels with the void, and the whole concept of there being a void, there being nothing that is actually created, but just pure consciousness itself.
That's pretty deep.
No, but that's the reality. So that's what we are talking about, because it's consciousness that creates what we see all around us. Without consciousness, we wouldn't have this 3D world that's around us.
That is true.
So Shiva is also joined by Shakti as the Divine Mother. And so the Divine Mother equates to the physical world and the manifestation of the physical world that we see. So really, when we look at it deeper, we see that. And the Hindu tradition, as well as the Buddhist tradition and Jain tradition and many, many others, we could even look up into the Norse traditions, with Midgard and Asgard. There's the idea of all different worlds that lie kind of on top of each other.
Yeah, that are kind of like layers of different worlds.
Yeah. Interconnected in many ways, but lying on top of each other. So, we could look at it in many different ways, and we see that, typically they'll usually point to the middle in all these different traditions and say, this is where we are. The abode of humans and animals. Above us, you see Devloka, that's the abode of the demigods and heavenly beings. And then at the top, Sarasila, which is the abode of liberated beings, like the Buddha, where they understand the reality that ultimately what they are is consciousness, energy, which cannot be created or destroyed. It just always is. Descending into a denser reality and having a physical experience.
And I do believe, is it the Buddhas that can like move up and down in dimensions once they reach a certain point?
Well, yeah, ascended masters too. You know, that concept of ascended masters that have achieved self-realization. They recognize that they're not the body, that they're consciousness. They're part of this ocean of consciousness. So ultimately, with all the little, well, you could view it like all the raindrops that fall down are each like jivas. They're like individual souls. And then they well up into this one ocean of consciousness where there is really like one ocean, but it's made up of, countless droplets. And again, we get into the fact that it's a fractal universe when we look at that. So everything is relative. And whereas beings that are on our plane of existence have certain lifespans, as you go up into the higher realms, the lifespans become enormous, like billions of years. Like, the life of a day in Brahma, the life of Brahma is like, it's the length of the universe's life itself.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah. So, and that shows that there's all different abodes. There's all different, different worlds out there that are kind of layered and they are kind of connected. It's a beautiful thing. So going into quantum physics, we see that consciousness may itself be a shadow of a higher dimensional structure. And we're also reminded that the mind can be viewed as a higher dimensional field. So the old way of looking at things in a Newtonian perspective was the brain creates the consciousness, but that is exactly the opposite of the reality.
Right. We're receivers. We're like antennas.
Yes. Yeah, the brain is nothing but it's just a mechanism to take sensory energetics that are all around us and translate that into an experience here in this reality. Again, it's very, very limited. So as we are able to move our consciousness out of the brain and into the bigger mind, then we get a glimpse of the true reality. As Buddha said, all is Maya. Everything is illusion if we just believe that we are just bodies.
Yeah, but we're lucky enough to get this opportunity to come down here and experience things through this special vessel.
So guys, all very interesting stuff. We shall see what they find. As always, thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. And make sure to subscribe, click the bell, get all the notifications. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.